Thank you, Senator Win. We have some slides that we wanted to share with you po. So good morning, Mr. Chair, Senator Gatchalian, and honorable members of the Senate Committee on Finance. First, we'd like to thank you, Senator Win, for allowing the Roundtable for Inclusive Development, PH Budget Watch, and the People's Budget Coalition to participate as resource persons in today's hearing. I'm AJ Montesa. I'm the advisor of the People's Budget Coalition, and I'm reading this statement in my capacity as the co-convener of the PH Budget Watch, which is a subgroup of the Roundtable for Inclusive Development, or RFID. RFID is co-convened by Cardinal Pablo Virgilio Ambo David and Mr. Ramon del Rosario. RFID includes members from church, government, civil society, and academic leaders. So next slide, please. So, Mr. Chair, ang national budget po ay ang bloodstream ng ating gobyerno. Ito po ang nagbibigay buhay sa bawat parte ng ating bansa. Mga paaralan, mga ospital, sakahan, infrastructure, at mga komunidad. But this bloodstream is being poisoned. Nakapasok po ang lason ng pork barrel, ng patronage, at ng korupsyon. At kumakalat silang parang cancer. Yung mga issue po ng mga nakaraang buwan mula sa flood control scandal hanggang sa unprogrammed appropriations ay hindi po isolated cases. Sila po ay sintomas ng malalang sakit. A national budget that has crippled its own immune system of transparency, accountability, and citizen participation. Kung hindi po tayo kikilos ngayon, lalong lalala ang cancer na ito. Slowly and surely, wawasakin po nito ang tiwala ng taong bayan at papatayin niya ang demokrasya. So on the next slide, we wanted to explain what pork really is. No? So gusto pong maintindihan natin lahat na ang pork ay hindi lamang isang line item kagaya ng PDAF. Ang pork ay isang sistema ng political incentives and pattern of behaviors. The Supreme Court in the Belgica ruling defined pork as, quote, the collective body of rules and practices that govern the manner by which lump sum discretionary funds primarily intended for local projects are utilized through the respective participations of the legislative and executive branches of government, including its members. So, ibig sabihin po, ang PDAF ay isa lamang halimbawa ng mas malawak na sistema ng pork. Kaya hindi po ibig sabihin na nung nadeklara na unconstitutional ang PDAF ay wala na po ang pork. Because the conditions of pork still remain. The lack of transparency, excess discretion, and political patronage. Hindi man po PDAF ang tawag sa kanya ngayon, but pork barrel still exists functionally. Nandito po ang ayuda, ang hard infrastructure insertions, at ang unprogrammed appropriations. Lahat po ito ay forms of pork barrel that are renamed. Binihisan lamang para hindi makilala. Our coalition's analysis of the House-approved budget, or the HGAB, reveals three malignant growths, the three types of pork that now dominate the national budget. Together, they account for an amount ranging from at least 256 billion to 450 billion pesos in the budget, which funds which are susceptible to discretionary or patronage-driven spending. So next slide. The first tumor that we wanted to discuss, ang unang cancerous na tumor ay ang soft pork na tinatawag, na nagtatago sa likod ng mga programang kung tawagin natin ay ayuda or assistance, katulad ng AIC sa DSWD, MAIFIP sa DOH, Tupad sa DOLE, at ang tulong-dunong program sa CHED. So these are pork because instead of guaranteeing people's rights, these programs have turned citizens into clients and politicians into gatekeepers. Our analysis shows that the indignities of soft pork allocations have persisted through 156 billion pesos worth of insertions across the past 4 budgets since 2022. Combined funds allocated to these programs account for almost 70 billion worth of increase or insertions from the NEP to the House version of the GAB in 2026. Next slide, please. So although seemingly designed for assistance and relief, tinutulak ng mga programang ito ang mga Pilipino na mamalimos para sa kanilang karapatan sa kalusugan, edukasyon, at pampublikong tulong. At kadalasan, may kapalit po ito. Next slide. Not only have these ayuda programs entrenched patronage politics, they have also come at the expense of the rules-based and rights-based social protection programs such as PhilHealth and 4Ps. So what you can see on the slide and the previous two slides, as the budget for these soft ayuda port programs have increased through insertions, the budgets for PhilHealth and 4Ps, which are the rules-based and rights-based programs, have decreased. So we go to the next slide now. Ang pangalawang tumor ay ang hard port naman po. So these are the economic and political rents captured in the infrastructure programs by political and contractor networks. So while the DPWH budget has been cut by 255 billion in the House version of the GAB, pertaining especially to the flood control, we note that other infrastructure programs have become red flags. So the problem with infrastructure insertions is not necessarily in the roads, the buildings, or the irrigation projects per se, but that these allocations have become detached from the more transparent, science-based, and people-centered planning that we should expect. So ang mga line items na nasa ilalim ng, for example, Convergence and Special Support Program ng DPWH, Asset Preservation Program ng DPWH, Farm-to-Market Roads ng DA, and irrigation projects under the NIA, ay nagsilbi ng daluyan ng mga proyektong may halong politika, mga insertion na ginagamit para makakuha ng kickback mula sa maanomalya o substandard na mga projects, o kaya upang patatagin ang patron-client relationships and networks. So the anomalous flood control projects on the next slide, therefore, are only the tip of the iceberg. Halimbawa po, from 2018 to 2025, only 547 billion worth of flood control projects ang nakalista sa Sumbong sa Pangulo website. Samantala, ang total appropriations for the flood management program of the DPWH actually is 1.2 trillion in the same time frame. That amounts to a 653 billion worth of public funds unaccounted for, not to mention the massive infrastructure outlays and insertions in the DPWH. During the past 3 budgets, for example, just alone, a total of, in the next slide, a total of 540.3 billion pesos has been inserted by Congress into the DPWH budget. Next slide po. So this is the slide showing that over the past 3 years, the first half of the current administration, 540 billion pesos have been inserted by Congress into the DPWH budget. Now next slide, we want to discuss yung pangatlong cancerous tumor po, which is the shadow budget na tinatawag na dulot ng unprogrammed appropriations o ang UA. So the UA was once a small standby authorization used only when revenues exceed targets. Before 2022 po, hindi umaabot ng 250 billion ang halaga ng UA. At zero pa nga ang insertions dito sa UA. But since 2022, we have observed that the UA has ballooned into the hundreds of billions of pesos. Ganun din po ang insertions dito sa UA. And over the last 4 budgets, congressional insertions into the UA alone have totaled 1.1 trillion pesos. That's why we're able to call it a shadow budget. And yet, the BTR or the Bureau of Treasury certifications, which are the trigger for the UA releases, are not publicly accessible. Hindi po namin ma-verify kung ito ba ay totoong excess revenue o gawa-gawa lamang. The Supreme Court has already warned against this in the Aurelio versus Aquino case in 2014, stating, quote, revenue targets should be considered as a whole. Otherwise, we deal with artificial surpluses. So if you go to the next slide, nakikita po natin yung special provision on the excess revenues as a trigger relating to only certain items under the non-tax and tax revenue. Pangalawa po, we call it a shadow budget dahil para itong nasa dilim. Kulang sa transparency at labis ang discretion sa paggamit nito. This actually undermines the congressional power of the purse and weakens fiscal discipline. On the next slide, we will show that because the UA items, this is the UA under 2026 HCAB, because the UA items are couched in lump sums, this allows the executive to finance projects in a manner outside the regular scrutiny of the General Appropriations Act. Again, this reinforces the UA as a shadow budget, as the line items under the UA escape the accountability and oversight mechanisms that protect taxpayers' money. So let's go to the next slide po. Ang tatlong klase ng port na ito ay halimbawa lamang ng mga cancerous na tumor na natagpuan natin sa ating diagnosis ng cancer that is corruption plaguing the budget. Mula po noong 2022, parami ng parami ang public funds na nag-feed sa mga tumor na ito robbing our immune system of critical funds that are supposed to nourish our vital organs. Mr. Chair, kailangan po natin labanan ang cancer na ito. But we must do more than make the external symptoms go away. We need to rebuild the immune system. Civil society participation, transparency, and accountability are not external irritants to the government. Rather, we'd like to think ourselves as the antibodies that help to keep the corruption from spreading. Sana matulungan niyo po kami sa mga sumusunod na recommendations. Next slide. Una, tanggalin po natin ang pork sa ayuda programs by transforming them into disbursements based on rules, based on rights, and based on just conditions. Sa halip po na umasa sa mga guarantee letters, patibayin po natin ang PhilHealth at paigtingin po natin ang universal healthcare. Pangalawa, tanggalin po ang 243 billion in unprogrammed appropriations at ipasok ang budget sa mga programang tunay na kailangan ng mga mamamayang Pilipino. Sa infrastructure projects po, these should be science-based and backed by transparent master plans upang masiguradong walang ghost projects at substandard projects. Pangatlo, kailangan po natin siguraduhing may mananagot. The public has heard promises of reform before and has seen the same abuses return time and time again. So to regain the people's trust, corruption must have consequences. Hindi po pwede na free pass na lang. Kung wala pong nananagot, wala pong maniniwala that this time will be different. It cannot be business as usual po. At panghuli, tratuhin po natin ang immune system ng pamahalaan laban sa korupsyon bilang isang mahalagang bahagi ng laban. There are many brilliant minds in civil society who want to help. Marami pong sektor ang gustong magbahagi kung saan pa nga ba ang nararanasan on the ground ang mga tumor or pork sa budget. Pero, kailangan po natin ng isang strong open budget system. Kasama dito po ang Open BICAM at isang open budget transparency server para makalahok po kami. Hindi po ito kakayanin ng pamahalaan na mag-isa. Kailangan po natin magtulungan. So to conclude, Mr. Chair, Senator Win, matagal na po kayong naging champion ng evidence-based governance. Our member organizations in the RFID have worked with you in the past and they all say si Sen Win ay kinikilatis niya ang datos. Malinaw po ang ebidensya, Sen Win. May cancer po ang ating bansa, ang ating budget. At sa bawat araw po na hindi direktang hinaharap ang sakit, palala ng palala po ang stages ng cancer natin. Ngunit may pag-asa. Hindi pa naman po stage 4 ang cancer. Kaya pang masalba. May the Senate be remembered as the chamber that restored our country's immune system. That the Senate made it harder to be corrupt and easier to be good. Let's go to the last slide. Today's hearing is a good step. Nabigyan po ang CSOs ng oras ngayon makapagsalita at sa halip na observers lang sa isang live stream. We have faith that by opening this process to collaboration and genuine partnership between government and civil society, that this will continue. With the Senate's leadership, we can restore the faith of the people in the budget process. Kasama niyo po kami, Sen Win. Handa po kaming tumulong sa Senado, sa inyo, at magsabi lang po kayo. Maraming salamat po.